Welcome to another conversation about conversations. I am your co-host, Jacob Kubrak, and with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend of conversations about conversations. And our guest today is the legend of dream achievers.
Kamran, welcome to Conversations About Conversations. We are delighted to have you with us. I know
Thank
that
you very much, Ivan.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and then Ivan will lead us in and how he wants to approach this one.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ivan. Thank you very much, Jacob. As you mentioned, my name is Kamran Akbarzadeh, and by background, I'm a chemical engineer. I have PhD in chemical engineering, and many times people ask me how the heck you became also someone who talks about leadership and success and dream achieving, and it has its own story. But the first time I came from Iran, which is the original country that I was born in, to Canada in 2000, I felt like a sense of purpose there, and it took me a few years until I got a job in the corporate world. And then something happened at the workplace. It was just few months into the job, and I got my first project with a big client, and I messed it up somehow. I made a mistake in that project, and it resulted in a complaint by the client, and that resulted in some sort of blame from the center manager of the company in front of many others, and it really hit me badly, and that really resulted in me being very disappointed, asking myself, why did I even get my PhD or chemical engineering? And I started asking questions from myself. I wanted to leave the company, but then I think when I went through this process, I realized that it's really not about that person or whoever blamed me. It's not about the client. It's about my own issues that I had. And I had to face them and find out what my purpose is, what my passion is, what am I going to do now? And that really put me on a journey of self-discovery. And it took me 4 years until I said, it's time to start. And that's how I started Dream Achievers Academy, with the purpose to help people realize their goals and dreams. Because many times we just take a path and we just want to continue that path. But it's like climbing a mountain. And after many years, we just get to the top of the mountain. And then we realize this is not the right mountain.
Today's conversation is about conversations that help you achieve your dreams. And of course, I chose that based on the fact, knowing that you have a Dream Achievers Academy, that you have a Achievers Inner Circle. And so that's today's topic. What we'll do today is we'll explore some of the problems and obstacles people have in achieving their dreams. Would love to know your solutions and ideas and your secret formula for reaching your dreams. And then at the very end, we will challenge everybody who's listening, as well as we'll challenge ourselves to think about something different that we will take on after this episode.
Perfect. That's great.
That's what I have in mind.
Yeah. And I'm going to keep practicing pronouncing your name properly over there. So that we can
that's going to be your dream today.
That's right. That's my dream right there.
So what are the conversations that you have, Kamran, with people about their dreams?
Yeah, that's a great way to start this, Ivan. A few years back, I had this question, really, what stops people? What is their top challenge? Because it's like 20-80 rule. If you can tackle maybe the top 20% of the problem, then maybe 80% of the dreams and the results that you want to get. And I wanted to kind of find out from the people who were on my mailing list and people I had connections with. So I sent out a survey and asked them about the top challenge that slows them down or stops them. And I got lots of input that I put in the book. And if I want to just read you some of those that I got directly from people, let me just see, it's on page 21 and 22. People say, I cannot balance different elements in my life. I procrastinate, I don't act, I cannot follow my passion, I don't know how to prioritize, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I am a perfectionist, there are too many demands on my time, I have a family to take care of, and I have listed a lot of these, but then I went through all of them and I try to categorize them and then see what are those buckets that we can put these reasons. And some of them we know their excuses, but I wanted to see what the challenges are, what stops people. So the first one and the top one, when I looked at all the results, was lack of self-discipline. Lack of self-discipline, meaning that I'm not consistent. I'm not consistent. I may say I do this, I may take an action, but I'm not a finisher. So somewhere along the way, when I hit a roadblock, I just stop. So the lack of self-discipline came number one. Then the second one was lack of time. I don't have time and I'm too busy. And these were like all different things that I brought in the book. The lack of time is there. That I call it really maybe lack of productivity or procrastination. That could be the second challenge. And the third one is lack of clarity. People are not really clear. They have either too many things on their side, or they don't have anything, or think that they don't have anything. So lack of clarity, that is really also a big one. When I do coaching, I help people to become more clear about what they want. And the fourth one was the lack of confidence. People do not believe in themselves. People do not trust the process. People just have fear of failure. So that's the lack of confidence. And the last one, and it's interesting, the last one on people's mind was money, lack of money. It's not the first one. You normally see at the surface, people always talk about money. I don't have money, I don't have time, I don't have resources. But if you really dig down, you see lack of discipline, lack of confidence, lack of clarity. These are the major points that stop people from moving forward. And that's what I explore with people. And that's how I have tried to create this Achievers Inner Circle recently to help people overcome these top challenges. And hopefully that opens up gates to them and move forward.
Okay, I want to recap here on the problems that you identified. 4 problems is what I heard. Mm-hmm. We'll test my listening here. Number 1 was self-discipline.
Yeah.
Number 2 was clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 was time.
Yeah.
And number 4 was money.
And confidence, number 5.
Confidence.
And confidence. Okay, so all of these are conversations about, and they're all conversations we have with ourselves, right? Like no one else is saying you don't have time, you don't have clarity, you don't have dreams. These are conversations we have in our own heads.
Exactly.
Okay, so now I want to shift into your best ideas for solutions to those 5 problems.
Yeah, so the first thing that I tell people is that first we have to work on, now what I do, I provide them a framework, because first of all, if some majority of people are not really clear about what a dream is, or is it a goal, is it a desire, is it something not achievable? And you have to really work with them, because everyone is unique, right? Every one of us, if I tell you what success means to you versus like Jacob versus Ivan or myself, we could have different answers. The same thing, what a dream means to you could be different. So we kind of say, okay, so let's list some of the things that you want to achieve. And now I have created a list recently, a spreadsheet recently, to help people come up with a bucket list of whatever we call goals, dreams, and desires. And this is more about reflection. So the process that I have always starts with reflection, to know exactly where you are in your life, right? So we start from there. And by reflection, I don't mean to just be upset about the past or be attached to the past, but to be to appreciate the past, and also to find out what areas of opportunities are and what you have overall achieved. And then I tell them, okay, now you know where you are, accept it, appreciate yourself, and this is the best place to be. And then we talk about what it could be, where you want to be. And where you want to be, also, if you check with people, they may come up with random things. So I normally try to categorize it to different areas of life, like could be career, business, could be personal development, could be just physical environment, could be family, could be wealth and abundance, could be health, right? Different areas of life. We find out in which area that person really needs help and can progress in that area and develop some dreams that they want to achieve. And for that, we can ask some questions. For example, I say, what are those things that you wish you had? And they say, I wish I had ... And there could be just several things. Or I always wanted to write my first book. I always wanted to start my own business. Or before I die, I want to do this. So these are the type of phrases that I use to stimulate their mind and brainstorm with them to create a list of the things that they want to achieve. And then from there, we go through a framework. And I have the simplest form of that I've talked about in the book is called the 3 Ds of dream achieving. What are those 3 Ds? The first one is dare to dream, dare to dream. Now, if you have lack of confidence, all of these come into play, but these are the challenges that we know they're going to face. But first is just you have to decide. That's the most important thing. When you check with people, many people don't own their dream. It could be their parents' dream or someone else's dream, but it's not their own. So first thing that I do is this really your own dream? Do you own it? Do you decide to achieve it? And when we get that confirmation, then we check to see if it's the right one based on the area of life. And then the second part, so the first one is dare to dream. You decide on which area, which topic, which dream, and then define your dream. And that's how I normally put them toward the end. I say, 6 months from now, visualize that ideal picture that you see yourself. And I do my best to help them visualize it vividly with clarity, because when you are clear, you can talk about that in present tense. This is what I'm doing right now, although it's 6 months later. It's very difficult to realize the power of visualization, but when we know as human beings we can really do that, and we create this habit of this visualization every morning in our meditation, like 5 minutes, then we know that we can bring that into reality. So that's the definition. We visualize the end, and then we reverse engineer, create a plan, define it in more details, and then do something about the dream. Do something about the dream. Do your best, which is the taking action part. So dare, define, do. These are the 3 cornerstones of dreaming or dream achieving. Although then I can go to details about planning and taking the right action, and also the secret sauce of success. It's not just about action, it's about those things that we said, the challenges that we can talk about.
3-legged stool.
Yes.
I heard a 4th D. The details.
What's the 4th one?
The details.
Exactly.
Those could be like the side pieces that hold the stool together. Your son can tell you all about that in the wood business. Yeah.
Kamran, it strikes me that you definitely come from an engineering mindset.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what makes it so successful. Sorry, is just write the spreadsheet and always kind of putting things and having an outcome and a formula for it. And I mean, you can directly apply everything you've just mentioned to sales or even service, because it's the same thing, right? Setting goals, figuring out how you're going to get there. What are the challenges you need to overcome, or all that good stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the challenge with many people is really they don't write things down, and they don't have any idea of a process. Everything, like the journey of dream achieving is also a process, and it's not just about the end result of it. It's about this whole journey that we go through. And I wanted to finish that thought of, okay, so I say do something, and you mentioned, Ivan, about the details, and the details come here. When we say do something, which is the action part, I call it the A of the success formula, or my secret sauce of success. But many people miss the other three, A, B, C, D of success. The B is the belief, the belief. So that's self-confidence that we talked about. If no matter how much action I take, if I don't believe that I can achieve it, I may not achieve it. And that's how I put a lot of stress on that part, because if you have that fear of not achieving it, you inject doubt into that picture that you have for yourself, for that dream, and that reduces the possibility, or that delays that achievement. So that's the B, which is the belief. And then the C is that clarity part, lack of clarity. So that clarity comes next, which means that if I take action and if I believe in myself, but I'm not really clear much about what I want to achieve, I may not get there on time, or it may delay things or faster. So clarity is really critical. Many times lack of clarity results in quitting or jumping from one branch to another and not finishing things up. And the D is that discipline, which is also required to create that habit if we want to change something. And as we always hear, if you just do things based on the same old belief, you get the same old results. So you have to change something in order to get some new results. And yeah, that's the details part that many people say, oh, you say the triple Ds, and I've decided, I'm very excited. I have defined it, see, I have it, and I'm doing things, but then I have to take them through more details of that belief, clarity, and discipline, and help them find out where we can help them to increase the probability of success. But the engineering mindset is definitely there. And I see that people appreciate it because many people do not have that background. And when you put in front of them a framework and process that you show them it has worked, then they feel more comfortable to go through it.
I love your framework. I love your acronyms and alliteration. Jacob, I want to ask you a question.
Go for it.
I want to ask you if you would be willing to share your dreams with us and the people.
I mean, at a vague level, sure.
Yeah.
So obviously we all dream of being successful, right? So want to continue that. I mean, everything you've spoken about applies directly to, like I said, sales and service, and so big dreams and aspirations there. Want to be a better dad at all times. I mean, I feel like I'm at this age where they're 10 and 9, and they're starting to become like little humans now, right? They were kids before, and now they're with feelings and everything, and that's tough to balance all those things at once and to be successful. But yeah, I mean, I just want to keep staying disciplined and in all aspects, and trying to do my best defining those things. But that in itself, right, is a process and the dream that we can stay on the path and continue to do well. And but what I like about the conversation today the most is just kind of keeping in perspective that even when you think it's the worst thing ever in your life, it could turn out to be the best thing that can happen. And so, yeah. But vague dreams there. Sorry. I don't know if that answers the question.
You did answer the question, but I'm gonna have a follow-up question.
Okay.
As a result of this conversation, is there anything you're going to do differently?
Definitely better perspective on dreams. So thank you for that. And more importantly, just I think that the biggest thing, and that what you're onto there with the circle of achievers, and is kind of linking up with people that are trying to accomplish a lot of the same things, and having that inner circle
Yes.
of people that you can rely on.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got while playing hockey was when I was graduating National Sports Academy in Lake Placid. Chris Waddell came up and just said that the company you keep reflects who you are. And since then, just want to surround myself with good people, and usually that leads to good things. And then it's just all about refining, right? You hit the goals, you hit the dreams, then you got to go find another one that is on the path that, you're trying to be on. Does that answer your
Very good.
follow-up question?
Excellent job.
What about you, Ivan? What are your dreams?
My dreams are to lead an extraordinary conversation about conversations.
There you go. The end.
My dream is to grow this podcast to a level that it really has some meaning for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else, Kamran, you'd like to say to the people out there?
The last thing I want to say, Ivan, is this quote by Rumi, and I put it in the book as well. I really believe in that. So Rumi is one of the poets, and now people talk about whether he was Turkish or from Afghanistan or from Iran. It doesn't matter. He was a great, great one. So he said, you were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideals and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. Learn to use them and fly. So I hope that you open your wings, you use your wings, and you fly higher, no matter where you are. So that's my hope and wish for everyone throughout this year and next year. And if there is anything that I can help, you can go to dreamachieversacademy.com. And also we can go to www.kamran.live, /free. So you get 1 month free access to the Achievers Inner Circle program.
What a deal.
What a deal.
What a deal.
I don't think there's much more to say after you've quoted Rumi and also given your www. So I just want to say thank you, Kamran, for spending some time with us. Thank you, Jacob, as always, the legend maker. And thank you to all the people for being a part of this conversation about conversations.